Chapter 38. Lord Rimuru, here is this week's report on the newly marked sectors of Universe Luke, Gamaliel said as he placed the folder down on the table before bowing and leaving the office. As Gamaliel walked through the hallway after passing the info from the original universe he was placed to supervise, he froze as he saw the people who walked past him and went to the office. He could only pray that a fight does not happen inside Citadel. Yo, Rimuru, I came to visit. Veldanava barged into the office as Rimuru sips his tea. Noir was standing behind Rimuru, and Velgrind was laying on the sofa reading. Brother. Velgrind sat down and looked at him confused. Why the visit? Rimuru asked. It's about these guys, Veldanava said as he went inside, the ones behind him follow inside. Velgrind stood up and took a battle stance as she saw the three insectars. What are they doing here? Velgrind glared at them as she asked Veldanava. Now, they didn't come here to fight. Veldanava tried reassuring as he sat down on the sofa. The three insectar went behind him. I made a deal with them. In exchange for their cooperation, I let them live in one of the universes. There are two large sofas facing each other, Velgrind seats on the left, Veldanava on the right. So, you came here to ask me, which universe I could give them? Rimuru asked as he sighed. It's good that you could catch quick, isn't that great, Zelenus? Veldanava said as he looked at the insectar that Rimuru fought. Indeed, Creator. Zelenus nodded as he has his arms crossed. Since he calls Milam as Creator's daughter, I made it that he calls Veldanava as Creator. The room went silent. Rimuru and Velgrind were frozen in place. Once Rimuru recovers, he stood up and slams the table and the files fall to the ground. Did you just name him? Rimuru shouted. Noir started picking up the files and sorted them to the side. Veldanava went silent like he let a secret slip. He looked away, ignoring both Rimuru's and Velgrind's gazes. Rimuru sat back down and massages his temple. He looks at Velgrind who has a similar expression to him. Then he looks at Veldanava, who jolted under his gaze before sighing. Hey, if you're going to say something, say it already. Veldanava said impatiently. The silence is really loud. I just said. For the last time. Sigh, just forget it. Rimuru placed his head in the table. Somehow that hurts more than the usual sermon. Just forget it, back on topic. You want to give them a universe? What kind? Rimuru gave up and tried composing himself. Yeah, Zelenus here can tell you about it. Veldanava answered as he pointed at Zelenus. He stepped forward. We want a fertile universe, a place where my kin can live. It has to be high in magical concentration and has a lot of worlds to conquer in. Zelenus started listing what he wants. Rimuru looks annoyed. That's a long list, we haven't even scanned an entire universe. I guess, you guys are either slacking off or incompetent. Mind repeating that. Rimuru glared as he smiled looking at Zelenus. I didn't realize, you're deaf as well. No wonder you almost got killed by an insect, as you call me. Zelenus bantered back. Rimuru-sama, I will. Quiet, Noir, you're not strong enough, remember. I guess you want a rematch. Hey, you sure? I'm no longer just an insect. Rimuru realizes that even as an insectar, Rimuru had problems fighting Zelenus, now that he has evolved into a much higher being. Rimuru glared at Veldanava who was just watching the scene unfold. Now, you two, that's enough. Rimuru, can you find him a universe? Veldanava, who couldn't ignore Rimuru's piercing gaze, tried to lessen the tension. I could find one, just give me maybe a month to finalize the search. Rimuru nodded. Zelenus, you too, stop trying to pick fights with Rimuru. Zelenus nodded. The universe that we will be given will be greatly compensated. Our army will help the Seraphim in culling the cryptids' numbers. What's this about the Seraphim? Rimuru asked as he listened. Well, 4 of the primordial angels are inside the sealed universe making sure to keep Ivaraj inside. It constantly creates cryptids, that needs to be culled down. In some way, they can slip through the seal and escape. That's why Zelenus and the insects are outside the seal, looking for a place to live. Hey Tilda, so that's why. Rimuru was intrigued as he listened. You're all just escapees. Of course, since you're the one to provide them with a home. They'll have some of their kin serve you. Veldanava said. Work for me? No thanks. Rimuru declined as swiftly as he understood the meaning of the words. Why is that? Obviously I don't trust him. Rimuru pointed at Zelenus. To think you're scared of even just my kin is hilarious. Zelenus snickered at Rimuru. Watch your mouth, or I'll give you a trash universe. Maybe I'll just send you back to the sealed one. As if I'd want to provide you with my kin in the first place, I simply do not want to have to owe you anything. Zelenus explained. Beside, these two aren't the ones I'll give you. Newborn insects will serve you, that way, they'll be loyal to you. How about that? I still don't trust it, but I can just eliminate them if something does happen. Rimuru backed down. It's good that we could all agree. Veldanava clapped his hands as he nods. Well then, we'll be back in a month. Veldanava and the insectars left as quick as they arrived. The people inside the room are left mentally tired. Does Rimuru-sama have any universe in mind? Noir asked as he returned the files on the table. Just give them Mdudu, where we fought. Rimuru answered before taking a sip of tea. Mdudu, isn't that place destroyed? Velgrind asked looking at Rimuru dubiously. That's only for the charted areas. From what I could sense of the star systems we destroyed, they were all fertile. Rimuru answered. The rest should be fertile as well. Send a team of holy angels with Mitsriel to observe the uncharted worlds. Rimuru looked at Noir giving his order. They don't have to chart, just leave marks for gates. Understood Rimuru-sama. Noir bowed as he left the office. I'm guessing we won't be traveling to Mdudu ever again. Velgrind plopped back down into the sofa, laying and getting her book. We have a month, we'll mark as many worlds as we can in case they plan on betraying Veldanava. Rimuru explained. We can raid their home as quickly as we can with this. I guess, but even I doubt my chances of winning against him now. Velgrind said, indirectly saying that it wouldn't do them any good to fight Zelenus. I know. Rimuru agreed. A month has passed and Veldanava came with the insectar. They were brought to Mdudu and explained the overall situation. Veldanava gave them a passage to the sealed universe to support the Seraphim. Here's the two I'm giving you. Zelenus said as two insects presented themselves in front and bowed. Rimuru furrowed his brows. Only two? How can they be useful with only this many? That one's a queen type. Zelenus pointed at the bee-like insect. It can reproduce more insects once it evolves into an insectar. I gave birth to that one myself. Zelenus directed his hand towards the beetle next. That one should be powerful if you nurture it. Your own. I didn't know you were that grateful. Rimuru grinned. Hey, don't get cocky. I said powerful, but it would never reach my level. Or even my other child's level. Zelenus looked at one of the insectar zest with him. The insectar in question was staring dangerously at the beetle. If no one was looking, it would be no surprise if the beetle was found dead. That's my side of the deal. Zelenus said as he crossed his arms in front of him, physically stating that Rimuru should leave already. Yeah. Rimuru scratched his head as he opened a gate to Citadel with the two insects in tow. Noir. Rimuru said as he passed through. Noir appeared and bowed. Have this too trained. Rimuru pointed at the two insects. Don't be too hard on them, they're still young and weak. Zelenus pisses me off, but he wasn't lying about these two's talent. Understood Rimuru-sama. Noir bowed as he walks with the two insects. He stops in his tracks and looked back to Rimuru. Rimuru-sama, Jahil-sama's report about the Aqua Sprite's planet has been finished. The report has been placed on your desk. Rimuru nodded as he walked towards his office. Soon after 200 years have passed and the three primordials have revived. Noir noticed their presence and quickly came and took them. Their 300 demons followed with them, as well as the demon child Moss. The trio are now kneeling in front of Rimuru in his office. We accept being under you, Rimuru-sama. Rimuru nodded his head and looked at the trio and Noir. Good, you four follow me. Rimuru said as he walks out of the office, the others followed behind silently. Noir, I haven't given you a body yet, have I? I am more than happy with my body. Noir replied. Don't be like that, primordials are extremely powerful if given the chance to grow. Rimuru said as he brought them to his research facility full of machines. Demons in general have a type of limiter, only being able to evolve until Archdemon and having a limited amount of magicals. Although, once broken, similar to Rimuru and Guy, they have potential to be one of the most powerful in the cardinal world. Jahil, Rimuru called as he looked around, his voice resounded through the entire building. Sound of tools falling over and an explosion were heard. Boss, don't shout like that, I almost died. Jahil ran over to where Rimuru was, looking extremely injured. How can you die? Just posse's a new body. Rimuru shrugs Jahil's complaint and toss a potion. Jahil drank the potion and looked towards the primordials. I see, is it that time already? Jahil nodded, understanding why they are present. Jahil started to walk further in the facility with Rimuru and the others following. Soon they passed through a door which led to a room that has several capsules in them, the capsules filled with magical-rich water, has humanoid bodies floating inside them. Those are, Blanc asked, as the others look with her. Your new bodies. Rimuru explained, me and Jahil have been doing some experiment and research on creating a perfect host body for spiritual beings. These are not just simple bodies. Jahil added, the bones are made of orichalcum and the magical-rich water is filled with Veldanova's magicals from the orbs which crystalline into fine muscles creating the flesh. We made this bodies using my own as reference. Rimuru pointed at himself. This is made by Veldanova, the bones needs a little more time but it is near turning into crimson steel. Hihirokane, the flesh is made from himself and some major deities Fuxi and Nuwa. Starting from Noir all of them kneeled, we are honored to accept the bodies that Rimuru-sama has made for us. Glad to hear, here you go. Rimuru tossed cores to each of them. Place your soul into that core, you can manipulate your appearance using those as a base. Basically the homunculus cores of Tensura made by Rimuru in their game in the dungeon. The primordials inhabited the cores and Rimuru and Jahil placed them on the humanoid bodies. The readings seems normal, Jahil said with relief. Rimuru hooked his arm to Jahil's neck. It's a success. Ha ha ha, see, it works. Rimuru laughed as their research that was done for 100 years was shown to be successful. The others should be able to inhabit the other bodies. Jahil said, the others they are talking about are Enki and Siren. The two are always busy and Rimuru didn't want to bother them when the success was still unknown. We can then mass-produce this for the other Enkis, Sirens, and demons. Rimuru stated letting go of Jahil and looked at the capsules. Then we can use those high human bodies that they inhabit for other research. The Enkis and Sirens are using high human bodies. We have to tone it down though, if we want to mass-produce them. Jahil explained, maybe only mithril bones. And the magical-rich water should be from other origin as well. True, don't wanna waste Veldanova's magicals. How about the Aqua Sprite's world? The ocean there should be full of magicals. Rimuru suggested, you mean Planet 19 of Cluster W? Yes, W19 of Universe Agua. Rimuru confirmed, you gave me the result of your study there right. The water there is full of magical. That may be true, but if we took too much, the quality will drop. Then have Sirens regularly pour magical to the planet, instead of stealing it from them, just give it to the planet and more. We would have to first study the effects of doing this to the world. Jahil complained. Rimuru placed his arm to Jahil's shoulder. Good thing you volunteered to observe Jahil. Jahil sighed. Soon the capsules alarmed them that the process was finally finished. And all 4 capsules opened up releasing the primordials with their new bodies. We devote our lives to Rimuru-sama for all of eternity. All 4 kneeled and swear once again their undying fealty to Rimuru. Good to hear that. Rimuru nodded smiling. Noir, give them the task that I have told you. Noir stood up and guided the others to their work, with the newly acquired demons in tow. Leaving Rimuru and Jahil in the facility, discussing what to do for the mass production. Half an hour later Enki and Siren entered the facility to have their new bodies as well. A meeting was then held for a creation of another building specifically for the production of the capsules. Which was easily approved by everyone and the construction started. Jahil and Rimuru could be seen inside Rimuru's facility discussing something privately with just them two. How are those two? Rimuru asked. You mean the beetle and the bee? Jahil said. They do show a lot of potential. However, I've seen the insectar with Zelenus. They don't stand a chance even if they evolved. I see, so Zelenus really did tell the truth. Rimuru contemplated. What are the chances of betrayal? Unlikely boss, from what I heard from the bee, the beetle has been continuously beaten up by the other child of Zelenus and he just watched. We have been giving them a very peaceful place to live in their perspective, this is also thanks to your order to keep their training in moderation. Guess Noir is doing good. Rimuru nodded. Do you have any ideas on how to make them stronger? A few. Jahil got close to Rimuru and whispered to his ear. We do some genetic modification on their bodies. Jahil stepped back to look at Rimuru's reaction. I'm not saying it's a bad idea, however the risk. I thought of that as well, however. We have been to a world where monsters evolved based on their experience and strength. If we could study how they evolve we can make a breakthrough. Furthermore, we recently found some chimera. Ants as the world residents call them that can make evolved children based on what they ate. Guess we could use them as a basis and as test subjects before the real deal. Rimuru concluded similar to Jahil. We could also change not only their basic genetics, but we could replace their bones with orichalcum. Oh, Just like with the host bodies of the spiritual beings. I see, I see. As expected of boss, you have the mind of a researcher as well. The two laughed as they schemed on what they would do to the beetle and the bee to make them much more powerful. To be continued.